What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're gonna jump right into it. If you guys missed yesterday's video, we tidied up a couple things on the fuel system and on the feed and drains on the turbos. Those are all completed now. Everything is tightened down. We're getting ready to start cranking this thing over, get some fuel through the fuel lines. We got our man, Muscle Man Andy Savage in here. Nice fresh haircut. So we're gonna start cranking this thing up and hopefully get this thing running here in a couple minutes. So stay tuned. Thank you, Andy.
Bye-bye.
Have fun painting your garage.
Bye. Come over and look at it when you're done.
I will. I'll swing over. We officially smoked out the shop. Yeah. Well, I'll swing over right after we pull the turbo off the dually. So that is what we are up to next. We're gonna pull off the turbo. We're not gonna put the new one on or go over which new one we might have, but we're gonna go over the steps on how to take off your factory turbo. So success on starting the first gen. So as you probably heard, as the air went out of all of the lines and stuff, we do have a little bit of a high idle, but it seems to be good. Everything seems to be good. With both of our dual feeds here, I would like to put an oil pressure gauge on right here. So I'm gonna get like an inline adapter to kind of splice into this, just to make sure our turbo's got good oil pressure going to them and everything is good in the filter head assembly there, because we had all that apart. Just for peace of mind, the factory oil pressure gauge came right up, no problems. Everything seems to be good. I did not see any leaks. So I'm thinking that we're good to start reassembling the front end. We do have to fabricate up the intercooler pipe on this side and possibly on this side. I'm not exactly sure. That might be a bit of a challenge, seeing we have our Banks twin ram intake here. That's going to be quite a bit different than our other one, so that might change that as well. By the way, guys, haven't mentioned it in a while. If you guys are interested in any Banks Ram products, you guys know the twin ram on here. We got the monster ram on there. GREGA 10 on banks.com will save you guys 10%, so check that out. But super pumped. I'm very excited to get this thing finished up and driving. Not gonna lie, all of this mechanical stuff does kind of scare me with the whole runaway deal. Definitely still slightly nervous about even revving this thing up, but huge success. What you guys saw us over there doing is the bolts that I had loosely in here. This wasn't really completely bolted. Looks like we dropped 2 bolts. We also have to fab up a support for this hot pipe that's probably going to go down to there to the motor mount as well. So again, this thing is not roadworthy by any means, but we're going to keep plugging away on all this little stuff, try and get it done. But good thing is it does start, run, and it will definitely at least move. So good progress. I'm pumped. So we're going to start on the dually now. We can put the bed back on. Woo! Alrighty, so let's start to remove some parts on the dually. Good old-fashioned delete time. So what we're gonna start with, we're gonna remove our Banks intake pipe here, get all that intake stuff out of the way. We'll probably end up having to remove this plate here, disconnect some of these coolant lines. I always try and pull the manifold and the turbo together. On 5.9s and some of the earlier 6.7s, you don't have this coolant standpipe kind of in your way. So we're gonna try and disconnect some of those hoses, get rid of this plate, and maybe this will just shift out of the way. That way you can kind of pull the manifold and the turbo up as one. So you can see your downpipe clamp down there, a whole bunch of sensors down there as well, oil lines, oil drain, and then there's also 2 coolant lines, which some of the other big part of this job is making a mess with the coolant. So the radiator on this thing, the drain is kind of like in this general vicinity, which is kind of a really big pain as well. We'll probably end up pulling the inner fender liner out just so I can show you guys a little bit more. So we're gonna start with that. We'll start by pulling the intake and the fender liner. Also, right off the bat, let me show you guys on the 5.9s, there's actually 2 of them. On this one, it seems like there's only 1. I actually just looked. So back there, you like our powder coat? I tried to powder coat these nice block off plates and look what happened. So back there, super hard to tell. Might be able to see a little bit of the edge of it right there. Let me try and stick the camera down at a different angle. So you can see the bottom and top stud of the last section of your exhaust manifold. Those little keeper, retainer, whatever you want to call them, they basically, so your bolts do not move or loosen up. On some of the earlier trucks, they actually span this bolt to that bolt, and then on the bottom as well. It looks like on these, because of the block off plates or your EGR system that was there, it looks like they're just on the back 2. So make sure you guys get some pliers, squeeze those off. Those have to come off in order to remove those bolts, so we'll have to tackle those a little bit. That's just another little helpful tip there, but we're gonna start pulling stuff off of this and hopefully not take too much time. I'm not gonna lie, I meant to stop about 30-40 minutes ago, but we got on a roll. What can I say? So here's the progress thus far. We got quite a bit done. We're actually, I would say maybe better than 75% done. So took out the inner fender liner. You can see much better access down in here. Got the clamp off of the downpipe. I actually started taking the bolts out of the manifold. You can get to them really well. We just used our impact gun here. Went right through the fender well. Got most of the bottom row out, so just the top row minus number 1 cylinder. There is a sensor right here. And again, it's really hard to stick the camera in here while you're working, so I do apologize for that, but we had to unscrew a sensor from the back side. That's this right here. That just, come on. This camera does awesome with really good light. Without such good lighting, not so much. So got a sensor out of there. Also, I'll go top side to get the rest of everything. On the bottom, you might be able to see down here, the turbo drain right down there needs to get undone. Those are 2 10mm bolts, and there is a coolant banjo, which is a 22mm on the bottom side there. That's where we actually drained the coolant out of. Pretty much stick a bucket straight underneath that, and you can drain all of the coolant. So all the coolant's out of here. Top side, we've undone quite a bit of stuff as well. Like I mentioned, everything on this standpipe is disconnected and kind of pushed out of the way. There's a sensor right here, right next to the oil feed line. Another coolant line right here, oil feed line right here. The sensor on there is right next to there. You can kind of see, maybe not. Goes right back down in there. It's so hard to see right there, that hole. So other than that, guys, all of the sensor attachments are unplugged and disconnected from the turbo. Downpipe disconnected, cold air intake pipe disconnected, more feed, oil feed and coolant feed disconnected. All of the stuff up here. That's pretty much it. We've just been kind of battling our way through it. A lot of stuff on these newer trucks that the older trucks do not. I can't even remember the last time I've taken a stock turbo off one of these trucks. But it is a little tedious, I'm not gonna lie. We were underneath to get the drain and the coolant line. A little bit of a mess down below with the coolant. I don't think there's any great way of draining the coolant on these things, so we just decided to go ahead and do it from there. Going back together shouldn't be that big of a deal. What we're gonna do now is just get rid of all of the rest of the bolts holding the exhaust manifold on, and then try and muscle this thing out of here by ourselves, which should be fun. But I believe that's it. Again, I apologize. There's not really if I put this in fast forward, you'd just be seeing my hands go inside here, not really any detail. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I need to get a GoPro mount, strap it to my head. Maybe that would be better. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, give you guys some details here at the end. Check it out, we have done it. We have pulled this thing out by ourselves. Not an easy task by any means. definitely have to kind of tweak this out of the way to get that thing out as one piece, but a little better shot down here. You can kind of see the drain. We left that in the block, just unbolted it from the turbo. There's the other coolant line that goes to the underneath of the turbo. That's pretty much it. You can kind of see the wiring, how it wraps down here. Don't really have to undo any of that, just really undoing the sensors from the turbo. That's how I did it. I believe that's all that I have to say in here, other than, whew, we got it out. Just a little bit better shot on the ground here. So sensor 1, sensor 2 over here, sensor 3, those are the 3 wires along the side of the engine. Drain, coolant, rotate this over, coolant, oil feed, and then that sensor that I was talking about. So that is pretty much going to wrap up the removal. We definitely have a little bit of a mess to clean up underneath as well, where all of the coolant came out, but we'll get all that wrapped up before we go ahead and start reassembly. All right, guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for shop work for today. We are either gonna head home or we're gonna check on Andy and see if he is still painting his garage. But tomorrow, or the next video, whatever it may be, we will go over the exact turbo manifold setup that we have going on the dually, kind of why we chose it, and where it kind of fits in, and where I kind of see the truck going with all of these next modifications. This t-shirt is completely whooped. But that's gonna do it, guys. Look forward to the next video, and we'll see. Let's see if Andy gets back to us. Oh, he said he is still in the garage, so let's go. Let's go over and see how Andy's making out painting. What do we got going on in here? Got Macho Man Andy Savage painting service. It's white. White and black, huh? What, are you getting all sensitive with the country music?
It's just on that shuffle.
Look at all these lights.
Yeah, the lights are fresh.
It's bright. You said you got stuff for the floor too? You gonna do the floor?
Yeah, we got this epoxy kit over here. But...
Man, oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you paint the back side of the garage door too? Look at that.
That's a forever. Not bad. Alright, better than what it was.
Yeah, better than what it was.
Once the floor's done, it'll be nice.
Looks good.
I think the green will look, the box will look cool up against the black.
Putting the box up there, right in the middle, I guess.
Yep, yeah, fits both doors open and stuff.
Nice.
I'm gonna do that. That one's white. I'm gonna freshen up that white trim and then do that one white too.
Hi. How we doing? How we doing? Hey, look at that. Look at that smile. She's going crazy. Jump. Jumpy jumps. Ooh. Say hello. Say hello. Good job. Eat your foot. Ah. Hi, babe.
Hey.
How we doing, babe?
That is going to wrap up today's video, guys. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. Look at this. This is bothering me. It's bothering me already. All right. I'll see you guys. See you tomorrow. See ya.